Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a pleasure having you here. Make sure it sounds working. I go by the name of L'Esprit. I am a spiritual healer. And technically, as a spiritual healer, what I do pretty much is that, I help people to become mentally and emotionally balanced. And for you to do that, I help you to understand how your emotions are being created. Then for you to identify your emotional pattern that would somehow give you power over it. You know what I'm saying? Then you master your own emotions. Because the whole, healing spirituality and whatever you want to call it, it's all about you being in alignment with you. In other words, it's you knowing who you are. And there are multiple aspects of you, and this is you bringing all of those different aspects of you together. And now you become whole. Now you know who you are, and now you are being set free. You know what? That's when you become that star you were back there, or wherever you want to look at yourself. You want to call yourself a star seed. It's all good, baby. All we're saying here, if that's what you were there, I mean, just know who you are over here. Just know who you are, not even over here. Just know who you are, because once you know who you are, it don't matter. That's how we transcend reality. But anyway, I'm getting way ahead of myself here. As you can see, I'm a little bit, emotional. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my bullshit, and that's pretty much what that is. Now, in addition, well, not even. I guess I'm stepping ahead of myself here. Now, for you to become emotionally balanced, obviously, you would have to understand how emotion works. And then, to identify the pattern, just like we were talking about, and that's that. Now, in addition to your emotions, then we also have your mental, your intellect, your logic, your way of thinking. Okay, so how is that being influenced? How is it being conditioned? So you have to understand these things. How do you work? Who are you, pretty much? But not necessarily in that sense, but more like delving into, like the person that you are, going inward, however you want to call it. But ultimately, what we're talking about here, to become healed, fully healed, or to become whole, it's important. As a spiritual healer, I help you to become mentally and emotionally balanced, because your emotion plays a big part in how you think too, right? I mean, we all know it. I hope you do. You know what I'm saying? If your emotions, that's why sometimes we'll say, okay, when you say to someone they're being emotional, in other words, what you're truly saying is your emotion is impacting your thinking, or maybe a little more than your intellect, or you off balance. And unfortunately, you know, being emotional, it's been categorized pretty much as that kind of saying, whereas we are all emotional beings. So again, it's the lack of balance. When we're talking about applying, following your passion, being highly involved into whatever the fuck you like, or just yourself in general, it's just it's ecstasy. It's ecstatic. And that's the state of mind you want to be in. That's how you become the enlightened one. That is the Christ, Krishna, Buddha. You call it whatever you like. But anyway, to make a long story short, as a spiritual healer, that's what I do. Okay. So now, if you're coming back, you already know. let's break some bread. Let's do what we do here, which is sharpen up each other. To give is to receive. So I'm here. I'm giving out, baby. It's all tip. It's all in the house. So just another way of saying, guys, welcome back. I hope this it's working out for you. I really hope so, though. But anyway, um, now if this is your first time or if you're coming back, this is part of my routine where take a little bit of time to break down what spirituality is, because as a spiritual healer, that's pretty much the tool that I use, that allow me to say, okay, this is how emotions are being created. This is, you have a conscious mind, you have a subconscious mind. So spirituality, is the tool. I mean, it's important, and I feel like, people have to understand what spirituality is, because, a lot of times people look at spirituality as religion. Or if that's not the case, the biggest one is that it's something that's outside of you. So you almost always kind of feel like strange, or okay, okay, that's that conversation. As if, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, like it's a misconception. Spirituality is everything. It's the way you think. It's everything. Because truly, when we're talking about spirituality, you get into the word spirit. Then the Kabbalion defines it, like we are living intelligence. When you truly get to strip yourself out, even in your speech, which is a representation of your mentality. We are thinking being. Some of us think a little bit better, and that's why we're saying change your thinking, change your life. So our true essence, it's more than what it looks like. It's very complex. So that's when, as in spirituality, then you have something called the occult now, which is pretty much the manual, the knowledge, or the understanding of the hidden part of you. For instance, if I were to tell you, you have a conscious mind, you have a subconscious mind. So although you do have your physical, your intelligence, and all that shit, here's another aspect of yourself. And then now the occult help you to identify. That's why you delve into the darkness to find the light. And even if we're talking about religion, I mean, unfortunately, it's a watered down version of what spirituality is supposed to be. That's why even when you look at the Catholic Church, or the whole Christianity stuff, it's copied. It's a watered down version. They do rituals just like they use incense, that they do all of it. Now, when you think about it, a ritual, it's supposed to change your life. That's why we used to have rites of passage. You got to prove yourself. Now you're becoming a man. Like there's certain responsibilities. That's what the ritual were used for. If you're gonna be born again, or if you're gonna do something called like you washing your head, we call it lave tete, in terms of trying to open up your third eye. Like there's a ritual. There's something that you gotta do. So rituals were used, to help you to get to the next, or to awaken something in you, or to deepen your understanding. It's for you to get deeper. In other words, getting a closer look at who you are. So when you have a kid, let's just say, who's going for her first, what is it called, communion, it's a ritual, but it means nothing. That's why a lot of those people who goes to church, right? They talk about Jesus, and it means nothing because like you got to understand anything that doesn't have a direct relationship into your life, it's not relevant to you. That's why to include everything, that's why you got to expand your consciousness. But anyway, without delving too much into that, I was just saying in so many words, like religion is just a watered down version of what African spirituality is pretty much about. All of those different rituals, baptism, those are spiritual shit. When someone is being baptized, like in African culture, this is you receiving the spirit and into form, into flesh, and now you have, accepted this motherfucker so you could guide him in this path down here. That's how we used to maintain that type of communication between us and the ancestors. That's what that is. That's how we communicate. We oh my God, niggas. I'm getting aware. Let me slow it down. Let me slow it down. They must be coming through. They must be. They always here. Every time I show up, they here. I love these motherfuckers, man. Because we roll deep, man. You know what I'm saying? I always roll with the superheroes. Those are my superheroes, man. Mm. Oh man, I hope you find it. I hope you do. I hope you get to develop that connection between you and your ancestors. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. I get to see the love. It's been passed down to me, and and I'm just reflecting it. Either with my kid. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just once you get in that space, it all becomes a one. And I guess for me, the connection is just insane. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh man, it feels good. Hope you find it, man. Hope you do, my friend. So I'm gonna help you, all right? And that's what I'm pretty much doing here by holding the mirror of knowledge, so you can see yourself. I can't give you nothing, man. It's all on you. So the truth has to be discovered. You gotta find it for yourself. You gotta find it for yourself. It's like, mm. You gotta find it for yourself. But I'll give you the clues though, but you gotta find it for yourself. And pretty much that's what we're gonna be talking about tonight too. But I just wanted to go back to spirituality. It's just giving you the story of the spirit. Then when you get to know our nature and understand, the deeper we get into us, then we realize we are connected to everything. That's why our ancestors, they worship nature because they understood nature was us. As it is within, so it is without. So the same rules or laws that pretty much maintain nature, it also it's you only rip what you sow. Do you see what I'm saying? You could have a million mangoes that is not ripe. Only one ripe one matter. You know what I'm saying? That's for my haters. Shit. A million haters means nothing. When you have one fan, oh shit, that's everything. You hear me? That's everything, man. I've been turning my other cheek on these niggas. I just, you know what I'm saying? Shit, I just show them my ass. Y'all can kiss my ass, niggas. Motherfucking hater. You can kiss my ass. So, to summarize, guys, spirituality is everything. It's all. It's politics, it's religion, it's all of it. And then it pretty much comes down to, now having the proper understanding, becoming that Christ consciousness, which is already you. We are all spirit having a body. No body, there's no spirit, dog. And this plane, spirit wears bodies, nigga. That's why your body's you. I mean, you are your body and more. That means a lot because when you say you are your body and more, you're not denying, meaning you taking full benefit of the body and then and more. That's you knowing who you are. There's no separation between your lower self and your higher self once they come together. And that's the relationship of the father and son. Although, I mean, the son is in the father and the father is in the son. I mean, it's like it's becoming one, but you still maintain your individuality. That's how the son and the father merge and still remain who they are. You know what I'm saying? We won. You know what I'm saying? And I'm myself, you myself, and you yourself. But anyway, so when we talk about spirituality, it's pretty much it's everything. It's you, it's your story. However you choose to define your story, if you look at yourself just ignorance, meaning you look at humanity as just, let's just say, history, but yet you're not looking at the spirit that you are, that you have like that's behind it all. You're looking at it from a limited perspective. In fact, that is the very reason why, if you think spirituality is outside of you, that's because you are far away from who you are. The spirituality, I mean, that's what I breathe. I shit, I pee, I eat it. All that shit. It's your life. Now, depending on how conscious you are. So now, when you become spiritual, you act a lot. You have activated, those God's quality in you, meaning you are becoming aware of them. You have embraced them. You are becoming more aware, more conscious, meaning now you're having a deeper reality understanding of what's in front of you. You keep going beyond the veil. By the way, that's why the Indian called this Maya, a world of illusion. The minute you separate yourself from anything, that's the fucking illusion. They all are you and none of you. It's the same principle of, being the alpha and the omega, the all and nothing. That is you. That is me. I wear so many different hats. A dad, a brother, a son, so many different ones. I identify myself with all of them. And then I also identify myself with none of them. It sounds like a paradox, but that's the balance. That's the beauty. And that's what true spirituality is all about. That's why the spirituality of yesterday cannot be the spirituality of today. Because even to be conscious, it means you are becoming more aware. So spirituality cannot remain the same. It's impossible. Now, if you're going through religion because you are set to think a certain way, that you being put in a box, then yes. And that's what makes it fake too. And let's be honest, when we talk about religion, it's another like society type of shit. It's a gang. It's you down with that. And then niggas now are saying I'm with Jesus to show you or to make you feel like they're doing something better. You know, it's you guys are not using your emotions to make you better. You're wasting all that emotion. You know what I'm saying? Versus if you were to put that into yourself. Oh my God. It's true transformation. And consciousness keeps going. Even if we're looking at the collective consciousness, look at the 80s and the 90s. Two different eras. When you're looking at chains of events, those are spiritual fucking wills. You know what I'm saying? From the Renaissance to whatever the fuck they talking about, they connecting all those different things, how the world is shifting. This is all spiritual shit, showing different levels of consciousness within the European, box. If that's where you at. I was in there. So hey, come on, relax. I mean, shit. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? But again, as you grow more, becoming more conscious, spirituality is constantly changing. And here's something else too. Like there's been a misconception, especially I would have to say in the European spirituality. Change is like the worst thing ever. Do you wonder why these motherfuckers don't change? You know what I'm saying? It's just some fucking accolade type of it's clout. You know what I'm saying? They are accepted. I'm part of society. Hello. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not weird. I'm just like everybody. I'm just like everybody else. You following the crowd. That couldn't be me. I could never follow the crowd, baby. I don't know. It was never in me. You know what I'm saying? Shit. My dick was too big. Shit. I'll be outside like Shaka Zulu, nigga, and experience my dick. You know what I'm saying? Or like that try that shit. I'll be holding on my dick like that, nigga. Nah, can't do it. That's why I always wanted to sit among the elders. I was always fascinated by just intelligence itself. And once you following these type of thing, like the external world, becomes a little bit different to you. You know what I'm saying? And they're definitely looking at you. Oh man, like you already know. You know what I'm saying? So that would be your attitude towards spirituality out of ignorance. But anyway, let's get to the conversation here because what I really want to talk to you guys about is that spirituality got to keep evolving, but also I'm gonna okay. So let's just take Moses' story, right? If you go in the Bible, you'll see the depiction of okay. So I guess if you want to call it a history book, right, or that part of it, that means there was shit that was happening around that time. You know what? I'll give you one better. Jesus, carpenter, everything, fisherman. A lot of people had how do you call this not farms, I guess, right? So they had sheeps. So everything that he was talking about was a reference of what was taking place within that time. But also, you got to keep in mind, that's why I always tell people, for you to carry your cross like Jesus told you, right? So that means you got to do the things that he does. So, meaning it has to be in your life. You got to live it. That's why consciousness, that transformation, you have to experience it. You have to materialize your spirituality. Now, if you want to be dramatic, or if you want to use the occult language, that's what being a god amongst men is. You materialize the shit, and that's the point. That's what self mastery is, knowing who you are, and all of that. So, yeah, so I was using, I guess, the time thing, but really what I'm trying to say is that type of spirituality that was written around that time used the example of what was taking place around that time. The message here is that that's why mythology builds your society. That's how religion is able to, every fucking different mythology, then you have a different culture, a different way of looking at life. And all of that is based out of their mythology. And that's the power, truly, fucking mythology. So when our ancestors used to have what we call tradition, mythology that was being passed down, we were shaping your mind to think a certain way because we understood how the mind works. And then in the process of it, then you will have now your rituals, your rites to passage. You know what I'm saying? You got to prove yourself because we understood spirituality is not about talk. This is it. This is for the living. So that's why, shit. That's why what was true yesterday, it's not going to be true today. Meaning, you cannot use the solution of what took place yesterday for you to solve your problem right now. You always got to be on the fly, baby. Now, some of these issues could be similar, like the 80s and the 90s, a 10-year gap. You could see how the music changed tremendously. You see what I'm saying? But most importantly, they both had their fucking issues. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be like the '70s was better than the '90s, nigga, have at it. They all have every generation, man, got their own shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I have my shit. My son's gonna have his shit. My and you know what I'm saying. Follow along, whatever the fuck. The sweet, sweet. So to constantly grow, I mean, to be conscious, it's always changing. Now, earlier I was talking about there has been, especially in the European type of consciousness, there's been a big thing about change. In so many words, they telling you anything that changes is not good. It's not true. And that's so far away from the truth, man. Like that's not even a reality that we are living. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I would want some shit that I'm experiencing to make sense to me, for me to master it, which is this life, myself. You see what I'm saying? So when we're talking about, I'll give you a perfect example. You can't have growth without change, and change is death. I can't be right now 41 years old and sound like it's and have the same state of mind that I was when I was 21, man. What the fuck? Am I going from, yeah, it doesn't make sense. As a kid, I talk like a kid. Well, nigga, as an adult, I'm gonna speak like one, goddammit. And I'll be comfortable at it. I will be holding my dick and doing all that shit. That's why having, you know what I'm saying? So the idea we always say, don't be comfortable. Well, that means you constantly gotta change. Meaning if you're changing, you're adding on to what already existed. So it never remains the same. That's why, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these problems, the 80s issues, the 90s, the 2000s, they could be similar, but it's always good. You're always going to have your own challenge. Now you need to become conscious so you could be in charge of your challenges. That's why we talk to the ancestors. That's why we study the books, not to live in the past, but to create a new fucking reality. The name of the game is consciousness for you to become conscious and now creating a new reality. Just like the fucking um uh Egyptians created the fucking reality. Your purpose here is to create. Like that's why you can't do what they did. Why would you want to do that anyway? I mean, you could be inspired from it, of course. That's what it's there for. But ultimately, creating something new. So spirituality has to constantly be evolved. So when Jesus was using the fishermen, those shit, that he was talking about around that time, saying that was to show you that what he was he was living what he was talking about. You have to live your truth or your reality. That's why if Jesus is not part of your life, actively in your life, it means nothing. You could say it if you want to sound good. Have at it. Well, most of you guys are people pleasers anyway. Go get your clouds. But once you turn, like this is the road less traveled. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit! This is for the 144,000s. Yo, that was in my Bible days, right? There was they were saying the only people like there was a number of people that would be saved, and the Bible gave you that number. I think it was 144,000. Can you imagine that out of a fucking million people? So I'm saying this to let you know again, you got to get the gist of it. I'm showing you how to you listen. I breathe life into the fucking letters, but you got to know who you are though. Don't worry, I got you. Just keep listening. You're doing good. You're doing good. Especially if you come back. Well, shit. Well, God bless. You know what I mean? Well, I hope you didn't come back for the bullshit now. If you come back for the bullshit, hey, that's what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? To the pure, all is pure. You're the master of your reality. In so many words, you mean that's what spirituality pretty much in essence is. But you have to strip all of these things out of you for you to truly understand what's being said. Because every profession has a vernacular, meaning, when the cop is talking to another cop, that's why they have those codes, 10-4, whatever the fuck, copy and all that shit. Someone who's in the medical field, they're gonna have a different slang. You know what I'm saying? And then you have your lawyers, you know what I'm saying? You have your technical terms. I'm saying all of that to say, right? Because I was referring to, how it's being said, like spirituality is being, said in so many different ways. It's different languages, but ultimately it all comes down to you. And there's nothing that either changes or there's nothing without you. Nigga, if you choose not to change, you ain't gonna get shit. You know what I'm saying? You want to change the world? Well, change the men in the mirror. What the fuck? This cannot be a coincidence. Those are all signs. This is all us saying to ourselves, yo, you are the master of your reality. You are creating your world. You are your God. Choose your God wisely. Because your God will determine your life. I kid you not. Choose your God wisely. And that's the best tip I can ever give you, nigga. And that's out of respect too. This is straight up love right there. But you gotta catch it. Because ultimately, that's when you start to realize who you are. Because if you can grasp that concept, because when the spirit took me back to mythology, then it started showing me how mythology reflects your world right now. Look at the Adam and Eve story. We're living in a society where we're ashamed of our sexes. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you would be to say dick in front of everybody. It's very gross, isn't it not? It's shameful a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You let me know. And even how women is being seen too. seductive. You know what I'm saying? You can't trust them hoes, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's some truth to it too. I'm not denying that, but I'm saying it's shaping your reality's been shaped a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I could go in and out of it. I go in and out of it and all around it. That's why I could tell you these things. Most people, even when it's cause I remember I was talking to this Christian brother. He thought I was blasphemy. Like he just telling me it's blasphemy. Not, but I told him, yo, think about it, because we were talking about the tale of creation, how Eve seduced the nigga, but the nigga could have said no, bro. You telling me Adam had no fucking choices, bro? You see, Adam dropped his dick, nigga. What the fuck? Nah, man, that's what God said. No, bitch. You see what I'm saying? Now, some people may even look at this part as blasphemy because you don't even think about it in a different. You don't even look at a different angle. Now, that's how your mind is being conditioned to look at it. That's what mind control is now, and that's what religion does to you. They get you to think a certain way. It's a one narrow way. That's what being colonized is about. That's why white people give you their names for you to speak their language, to become like them. They bred you, for you to go to college to speak proper. This is what you do. You know what I'm saying? To become part of their society. That was the work. That is the work. That's the work. That's when you have guys now like motherfucking Mu- Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? That's my champ. I love this nigga, bro. I came to him and like, nah, nigga, we're gonna change the Cassius Clay to motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, Muhammad Ali, nigga. That's the new consciousness. These niggas, I'm showing you the level of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like he may not be the super occultist type of guy. You know what I'm saying? But this nigga was conscious, meaning he was aware of most things that the general public was not aware of. You know what I'm saying? And that's how he was able to maintain his beauty. Do you see where I'm going with this? So a lot of these guys, I saw their beauty because I saw mine. Like, damn, well, that's my nigga. You feel me? So, like they say, your idol is you because it's reflecting a side of you. Again, it all comes down to you again. But anyway, now to get back to the whole purpose of this, yesterday's spirituality cannot be today's spirituality. I'm showing you that to show the positive meaning in change in itself, the beauty that change brings. And somehow along the line, change now became this evil shit because now anything that changes is no good. So at this point, that's when the fucking European spirituality, in so many words, they trying to get you to suppress your body, suppress your desires, suppress all of these things for you to maintain, your intellect. So, in as part of their spirituality now, and of course, it's gonna come down to You know what I'm saying? If depending how deep down, I mean, you're delving into that shit, then ultimately it's gonna be fuck humanity and vive spirituality. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's how you rolling out here. I'm saying you playing yourself. Whereas change, is that growth. It's the spirit expressing itself. This is the spirituality being materialized. This is you creating amazing world down here. You creating wonders. Out here, but you gotta be in your element then. And your element is constantly changing. You gotta become, you gotta solve your own challenges. And here's the thing, you can't cheat. Nigga, you gotta put the work in, you cannot cheat. You cheat, you start over again. So how bad is transformation? That's why our mentality of what eternity is, death is not part of it. Because your interpretation of death, like shit, the nigga I was at 5 years old, shit, that nigga's done, it's done, gone. But yet it's still here too. Because your experiences never goes away. You know what I'm saying? Those are those different lights. I don't know, like those type of consciousness. There's, and then you keep growing and growing. Then we understand there's a force behind nature. There's an intelligence in nature, and nature is intelligent itself. All right, so what about us? So our ancestors. That's why if we didn't understand what was taking place in the inside, we look outside. We look at nature. What would nature? How would that be handled in nature? And in nature is just, yeah, I got the answer though. That's right, man. You know what I'm saying? Free game. Yo, nature's giving out free games, nigga, on a regular basis. Just sit down and watch around you. Free game, nigga. Nature's like, I'm trying to tell them. Free motherfucking game all day. So why is it important to understand that yesterday's spirituality is not the same as today? Well, first of all, we're showing growth, right? You're showing change. You're showing becoming more aware. That's a big part of consciousness. Believe it or not. So you constantly got to grow. And as you're growing, there's new challenges as you're making things yours. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, that's why we say, so you gotta stay in the, you gotta stay in the now. And everything's taking place in the now, unless if you leave. You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna be your creator, so you always gotta stay in the now. And that's what becoming that living mind it's all about, that living spirit. Is to embrace those different realities. In fact, I'll tell you this. This is another tip. I remember as I was going through my growth, certain things I couldn't catch at the time until later because the growth, the transformation had taken over me. Like I started growing my hair in the middle of nowhere, and what was taking place in me was the divine feminine that was just expressing itself through my intuition, and that started becoming stronger and stronger. So as I'm going through the transformation, that's why for me, a lot of my psychic abilities become, it's like as you delving more into yourself, and it just, you're polishing your tools, it's becoming bright, brighter and brighter. Do you see what I'm saying? But anyway, what I'm saying, that was just a tip in terms of, when your gifts are showing up a lot more, your psychic, your certain things. You know what I'm saying? Find the kingdom of God, baby. Find the kingdom of God. And I assure you, everything will be given to you. I'm going through it now. Listen, listen, yo, just to stay in your light alone, you see how you defeat a lot of people. You see what I'm saying? That's like, let's just say hypothetically, a motherfucker say, "Yo, fuck this nigga, man. Fuck this nigga, L'Esprit, man." With his motherfucking Haitian ass, you know what I'm saying? All that shit. Fuck this nigga, right? And me, like, being in my, like, and being in my shit, I'm like, baby, it's all good. All right, so what? So what? All right, I get you. I'm not for everybody. First of all, bitch, I'm not for everybody. That's first and foremost. So I'm showing you, nigga, you got nothing on me, bitch. I'm not for everybody. Then you don't want me, so. 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 Really though. So I don't. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Y'all bullshitting out there. It doesn't make sense. The math and math. This, you know what I'm saying? It's not, what are we doing? So anyway, but also by talking a little bit about change and how it's not scary. I know, because our interpretation of death, unfortunately, we don't look at it as a transition, meaning living one form to another. And we go through that in life, man. I mean, I hope you go through it. You know what I'm saying? Because not everybody went through it. Let's be honest here, okay? That's why you have a lot of kids in adult body. You have people who never dealt with their own emotions. Who's been suppressed, who never, like, because for you to grow, you have to embody all of that. You got to embrace your pain. In fact, true growth, it's when you're dancing with your pain, meaning you keep transmuting it. That's how you heal yourself. You keep changing the energy. But if that's not the case, that's when, people don't grow. Then they're being triggered. The monster in them now has taken over them, their shadow self. Because those unexpressed emotions, those lies, all of these things, these people they are deceivers because they don't express who they are. Decepticon. Those are the people who would trap people. That's what they do. They don't know about love, and they don't allow themselves to love, and they don't accept love either. Because for you to accept somebody to love you, you have to open up, bro. So in our society, you have a lot of people who are conditioned that way. And then you have these people now getting married. It's chaotic. Everybody's wearing a mask because they've been trained and conditioned to be something that they're not. That's why you'll see some people would use their fucking college education or certain things to talk about who they are. I'm a doctor. Hey doctor, how you doing? And this nigga will tell you that's man, I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? And not the so proud niggas. You know what I'm saying? You'll be like, well, right now, this is what I'm doing. But I'm working on something, something, something. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna kill all that shit. You know what I'm saying? In other words, you're like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, I'm just gonna let it flow for a second. Y'all niggas are wilding out there. Mm. Mm-hmm. So it's all right, man. I'm giving you a few steps ahead. Give it a few steps ahead, man. I get it. I get it. I got you. But anyway, the key thing that we're truly talking about here, guys, is that true consciousness got to keep going, got to keep evolving. Every era, every situation is going to be new. But the bottom line is, some situations could be similar, but the bottom line is that's why you have to find it for yourself. You got to find it. That aha moment, that's another way of finding that. Oh, aha. Yeah, yeah. That's that magical thing. Yeah. Oh, okay. No, I stay aha, nigga. Come on. That's my mantra, nigga. Shit. So, in so many words, the spirituality of yesterday cannot be the spirituality of today because you got to find the truth for what it is. And the truth is so subtle too, because what was true yesterday doesn't necessarily have to be true today. Yeah, he worked out yesterday, but the solution is going to be different. It could be similar, but that similarity is just showing you there's an extra step, and that's that subtlety I'm trying to tell you about. That you got to find it for itself. You see what I'm saying? That's how you got to stay lit too. That's how you got to stay present. That's how you got to materialize. The objective here is to materialize your spirituality. That's what the ancestors did. And that's truly the underlying message that they truly telling us. You got to find it for yourself, and some. But this is what you're gonna do. This is why. Then we give you the Kabbalion, the seven Hermetic principles. Ultimately, this is to guide you for you to have a more direct connection with the Creator that you are. That's why, I think in my past recording, I was talking about pretty much humble. Like humble doesn't mean I don't see my worth. No, 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 no. Humble simply means I don't put my worth above you. But I know what I'm worth, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm not competing with you. You know what I'm saying? I know my price, bitch. You know what I'm saying? And you can't afford me. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? You broke, bitch. You broke. Yo, they wanted your boy to be broke. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Not knowing that I am abundant. You know, they stealing from me. You know what I'm saying? How do you want me to be broke when you're stealing from me, man? Hmm? Don't you know if I don't have any more, like you cannot steal from me? Like you guys are losing, losing. Yeah, y'all just it's like y'all dedicated to lose. Hey, that's your choice. Do you see why I'm not sweating? I don't need to sweat. Y'all taking each other out. Hmm. Because the foundation was never solid. You can never build anything meaningful. You know, that's why you always come on, man. When it comes to righteousness, man. Nah, man. You can never, ever beat the light, man. You can't stop the shine, dude. You're gonna get burned. The more you hold on to it, oh, you burning. That's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? But who am I to tell you to let go or not to let go? You know, I admire the strength because I'm all about strength myself. I'm just saying because I'm beauty. You know, I admire, you know, like the strength. You know, it's just gonna burn more, and that's it. Oh, it's gonna burn a whole lot. You, it's, you in the wrong neighborhood, dog. Now, you know what I'm saying? So just so you guys know, you know what I'm saying? So we got a few admirers, you know. Um, oh man, like some shit that I got somehow associated to. Not somehow, because, you know, oh man, the things people would do for money is unbelievable. Especially for shit that don't belong to them. It's just incredible. You know, so me experiencing that side of, you know, this cycle, you know, it's just amazing. It's wow. Like I get to see their you know, psychopath, those psycho, yo, those mental man, like they really, I really delve into their frequency and to see how dark it was. I mean, it didn't scare me, to be honest, because I am the light, but how dark it was for them. They even afraid of they are. They're all afraid of their own light. We're talking about truly kids, man, who got lost in the sauce. Like they're like totally lost. You know what I'm saying? It's like those. Have you ever heard? Like, if you've seen those uh zombie, I guess, movies, right? Where you know that little girl in the house, in that haunted house. That's these motherfuckers. They never got to look at themselves. That's why they become so delusional. They're living a whole different reality. You know? Like when I some of the shit I see, I'm hearing, it's like these niggas are like they lost Here's the crazy shit. That's just phase one. You know, so they're doing black magic and all that shit. Oh my god. Yeah, man. Y'all in the wrong neighborhood. Yo, these niggas step in the wrong zone. Like, you know how they say, like, if you see those YouTube videos where they have instant karma, you know, you step in the wrong fucking in the wrong spot. But they didn't know. Oh, they didn't know. But they were warned though. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a few warning signs out there. They knew, and that's what's gonna make this even sweeter. You know what I'm saying? They were told no. They said, "Fuck you." What? Come again? Okay. You sure about that, sir? Ma'am, you sure about that? Okay. You're entitled. Wow. But anyway, you know, it's getting closer, man. But just to summarize, you guys already know, man, it's all love, you know, and that part of it, you know, it's coming to an end. You know, oh yeah, it's coming to an end. And unfortunately it's not it's beautiful and ugly at the same time. So yeah, it is what it is. But you know, hate, you know, jealousy, dealing with people's shadow self. You know, when you see like people who are living a criminal life, you know what I'm saying? That's a lot of times it's their shadow. You see what I'm saying? And that's all part of spirituality. Now, if you're into the Bibles or maybe into religion, then you may call it the war between evil, good and evil, you know, but essentially what you're truly talking about is people who have pretty much refused the light. They are so scared, you know, those Annabelle in those movies, those haunted houses. Their home become a haunted house. They don't know who they are. They constantly, what you're calling a narcissist, this shit is crazy. And they would do shit, they always regret shit because it wasn't really them there. That's why someone who's toxic never know that they fucking toxic. So that's why too, like, listen, you gotta put it obviously you gotta control these niggas. They're dangerous to society. That's why they gotta go to jail too. Like, nah, those are the niggas like you really gotta be like, hey man, fuck out of here. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't know how to master their monkeys pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And these are your, you know what I'm saying, your bad boys, man. You know what I'm saying? Not the true ones because they're not in control. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what you're seeing in those things. That's what you're dealing with. That's why when you get to see yourself as spirit, then you understand you are living intelligence. You know, and depending on, and then your emotions plays a big part too. Because as you can see, a lot of these people in the occult, we call it, they have not healed their wounded child, meaning we are referring to those early emotions that they had, that haunted house. See, even for you to become the Batman, you got to face your fear. That's why they're telling you to face your fear. Facing your fear, that's you healing the wounded child. That emotion of yourself that was abundant, suppressed. Now you're holding that nigga hand. So that's why true spirituality, through consciousness, is you dancing with your pain. It's you dancing with your shadow self. That's you becoming whole. And you being able to transmute that emotion based, that's what I help you to do as a spiritual healer. Then you have other people now, the minute that they suppress that other side of them, there's nothing I could do with it. But, to help them to get back to that other side of it, to for you to become acknowledge it. And generally speaking, you may have to go through some internal shit that would allow you to get in that space. And then at that point, that's why I know I'm not talking for everybody. I can't be for everybody. Even if I wanted to. Because if I wanted to be for you, you don't want me. Shit, nigga. Come again? Mick, I'm out. All of that comes as part of self mastery too. That's where we go, where we are only celebrated. We go where we are only celebrated. If that's not the case, well, you know what? It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, man, we ain't bothering nobody. I'm gonna be where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be where I'm at, baby. And I'm always where I'm at. This is the great communion, you know. But anyway, to pretty much conclude, man, because we talk about so many stuff. So essentially, what we're saying is for you to acknowledge that the spirituality yesterday cannot be today's spirituality. That is even in that in itself is a fully loaded statement. It's showing growth. It's also showing you, understanding and being open to change, and also having a true understanding of your nature, because your nature is to change naturally. It's to open up. It's to be that lotus, to be receptive. To give is to receive. That's your nature, you know. But through pain, that's when that separation becomes. That fear, then the monster's taking over you now, that the jealousy and all that shit. That's what they're showing you. You know what I'm saying? Daddy didn't give you a hug. Daddy was not around. All of that shit. So, in other words, those are also showing you us as human beings. We are more than flesh and bones. So, again, when we talking about spirituality, man, this is your fucking life. Now, depending on your level of consciousness, then when you understand that you're more than flesh and bones, then the fuck, it's all around you. But when you identify yourself with just the flesh and bones, of course, that's where your consciousness stays. And that's when you go like, yo, man, that shit's over there. I'm like, wow. Wow. Nah, that's you taking the shit, nigga. Wiping your ass and all that shit too. But anyway, so we're saying, change is another great thing to embrace. That misconception of change, when we look at nature, what we see taking place. Do you see what I'm saying? And somehow that's why our ancestors they knew we worship nature. We go by with the nature's like wisdom. And why the fuck would you want to go with something you're not experiencing? Isn't that what fucking hypnotic is? Hypnotism, whatever the fuck. But it's like if I'm not experiencing that, that's when you're living in your mind because everything you're doing down here is a combination of the visible and the non-visible. And now what we're telling you is, look past the visible, then you'll see it was never visible. Illusion. That's why we're not concerned. Like the true ones who understand, I'm eternal. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Would I come if I come back again? Well, I'll do another mission. I did something. Well, I'm coming back again. Who gives a fuck? You see what I'm saying? But this is a level of mastery, though. When you're not, when you have not attained that Godhead, of course, this is the worst place to be. I mean, shit. Sorry to hear that. That was not my experience. I'm not concerned. Oh wow, another way of saying, oh wow, all right, you know what I mean? I don't know. We're having a different Earth, you know, type of fucking experience. You know what I'm saying? A nigga, you know what I'm saying, was born in a royal fucking family, and then you were being raised in a poor family. I mean, he's gonna be sorry to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I'm royal blood over here. Sorry to hear that, dog. Be strong. Just live for another day, man. I don't know what else to tell you. Live me so for many other days and beyond whatever days when that day comes. It ain't time yet, motherfuckers. It ain't time yet, bitch. Fuck out of here. Anyway, guys, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna leave it here. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing but love. You know what I'm saying? Check out the Patreon. Check out, I got so many other videos. I'm glad. I hope you'll be able to, retain or maybe I said something that did something for you because that's why we're breaking bread. We're sharpening up our tools. You know what I'm saying? To give is to receive, baby. You already know. I sent. Bra, Mali.